a little bit longer than the first one, okay, because you've got to allow for shrinkage of, you've got to allow for the shrinkage of the wire as you're twisting it, okay? So if you want them to be fairly even, you don't want them to be perfect, but if you want them to be fairly even, then that's what you should do, is just to make it a little bit longer. That way when you twist it, they're relatively the same size, because you're going to twist these guys into the double helix. So and what we're seeing here, okay, again, my drill's always spinning the same way. That's my second quad core. All right, so now I've got 2 quad cores here, right? And remember, I said that they're in parallel, which means that the positive and the positive are connected together. Okay, and the positive, in this case, is where the power is coming from, right? The source energy, right? So the positive and the positive mean that they're going to fire at the same time. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just going to take these 2, all right? The 2 quad cores that I've got, you can see that I didn't match up the ends, so I needed to make it a little bit longer, all right? But it's okay, all right? It's not life-threatening and it's not anything. It's yours. It's your creation, okay? But just match the ends up, okay? Right here. That's what you want to do, is match these ends up when you're twisting it, all right? The other side could be a little bit more uneven. Because when you see what happens, okay, I'll show you. Now, you see me twist this until there was a slight buckle, all right? If I had kept twisting this right here, this would have buckled into something bigger, and this wouldn't have been near as nice, okay? And so now you've just created the double helix quad core piece, all right? Now, my higher self, and I'm asking other people right now to test this out for me, okay? But my higher self says that I don't need to put the capacitor paper on this. It just needs to be nano-coated thoroughly, okay? I don't need to put the aluminum foil. I don't need to do any of that. So you just need to put some batteries, because we're using this one as a plug-in, okay? You need the constant flow of energy and the alternating current of the wall to get your left and your right side of your body, okay? This is why it's suggested for a power inverter for a car if you plug it in, okay? Now, to make it into that neat, tiny little spiral, all right, all I've done is I've just taken my needle nose pliers and I'm holding it here, okay? And I'm making the beginning part, okay? And I'm wrapping it completely around the tips of these pliers, all right? And I'm trying to keep as much pressure on it as I can, all right, so that it stays. And then from there, I pinch it with my fingers, okay? You can do it with pliers, all right? And I bend it around, okay? And if I need, you can see this one has a gap, a little bit more of a gap than I like here, okay? So what I do is I'll switch it off to the side a little bit, all right? And I'll bend the wire, and then I'll kind of push it back into place, okay? And you see the gap got a little bit smaller, all right? The other way to do it is to bend the wire a little bit, okay, on the back side as you're doing this, okay? And then you get a nice tight twist with your double helix. Okay. And you want it to be as tight and as small as possible. Oh boy. Okay. So that it can fit inside of your plastic container. And that's all that it needs to do. Okay. So for me, this length, all right, will fit perfectly inside of this little plastic container. Okay. And so you can see how I've done it. This is one coil, all right? You need 6 of these coils in order to make this unit, all right? So I'm going to do a couple more here. And I'll show you how I just continually add on. But this is a finished product, guys, okay? This little coil right here is the finished product. And you just need 6 of them, all right? You need 6 of them to fit in whatever sphere that you've got that works for you. And you're just repeating it over and over again, okay? This represents one DNA strand, right? If you were to look at your DNA strands, you would know that the double helix is also in a spiral, okay? Evidently, I know more about DNA than I thought. But anyway, it's in a spiral. Now, the only thing that we've done differently here is I've flattened it out. Instead of made it long, I just flattened it, okay? It's kind of like taking a pyramid. You know, if you flatten a pyramid down to where it's flat, it makes a swastika, okay? And if you take a swastika and pick it up from the center, the edges will slide in and make a pyramid, okay? We're just reshaping to get what we need out of this, all right? And I need 3 of these to be inside one of these, right? That makes your stacker units, okay? 3 of these little coils right here is equivalent to 6 of your stacker units as far as the energy give off, right, on each side. So you've got 12 stacker units right here sitting in the palm of my hand, okay, the same energy. And so that's what we're going to create here, all right? So don't beat yourself up. Practice with it. Have fun, okay? Be creative. Make it look beautiful. And allow yourself some time, okay? Don't try to do this and be all rushed, because right now, every piece of this stuff that you work on is not wrong, okay? There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing wrong that you can do with this, guys. And that's the cool part about it. Okay? You just need to learn to add your own creativity in there to keep yourself safe from other entities that might try to harm you, okay? Or might try to take advantage of you. Not to say that they are, okay? But just like there are humans here on our planet, you know, would cause you harm right now, there's also entities out there that can cause you harm, and they know this technology, and they're more intelligent than we are. But they're all coming to an end as far as this negative polarity of energy that we've got. And that's the beauty of working with the light, is that you get to know this shit ahead of time, guys. And I know that a lot of you are, you know, especially like Crystal in the background. She's doing wonderful things in her group, okay? We just had some reports from Fraz with Crystal's group about the possibility of your capacitor rings drying out and catching fire, okay? No fires have been reported yet to my knowledge, but smoke has been smelled and things like that. So take caution with that. I currently have somebody who is experienced in building all of these units, okay, working, excuse me, uh, working with a very specific set of ingredients for a caustic paste to prevent the capacitors from drying up. And if it works out well, which I'm pretty sure it will, we might be surprised with the results. That's when we'll be able to take the IQ and take it from a plug-in device into a off-grid, completely off-grid system using GANs, or neutrinos as I call them, okay? So for those of you that are taking notes and you know how to make the GANs that was, or the GANs paste that was suggested by Alex with the Alex beads, the version that I would like to offer for you guys to try and test, okay, is as follows. So if you have a pen and paper, you might want to go get it. All right. Now, those ingredients are as follows. Charcoal, okay? I'm talking about the black burnt wood, not the white wood, okay, made from ashes. I'm talking about the black charcoal. Okay, you can use pencil lead in place of this, all right? But you want charcoal. You want some, any of your dried GANs that you have, okay? You need 100% lye powder. You need your charcoal to be dry. Activated charcoal will work great. The dried GANs, mix the dried GANs with the crushed up charcoal powder. Okay, you want it a fine powder, as fine as you can get it. Okay. And then you're going to mix in some of the dry caustic lye powder, right? And you're going to mix it in a little bit at a time. But I also want you to take, depending on how much you have, okay? I don't make very much, but I'm not going to tell you guys how much to make because of your own needs. Only make what you need when it comes to this. But use the charcoal and the lye, create your little paste that you've got, okay? Then I want you to add about a half a teaspoon of granulated sugar. It needs to be dried. And then I need you to add a little bit of baking soda. And I say a little bit on purpose. I'm not giving you very specifics here because I need you to experiment with this. Okay. I also need you to add 2 or 3 drops of fresh lemon juice. And that's my goal. Mix it all together, and you're going to add the lye, okay, according to the consistency that you want. And that means that the more lye that you put into this dry powder mixture, the more moisture is going to be attracted to your paste. Okay, it will constantly and continually attract moisture, all right, to your paste, which will keep it from drying out. Now, you've added your GANs, you've got your ash or your charcoal in there, all right? This is your carbon. Now, this mixture is going to take apart your aluminum foil, unless you have layers between your, the paper layers between your aluminum foil and the GANs, okay? Because it is caustic and it will cause the aluminum foil to disintegrate. Okay? So keep that in mind. And as you can see, this is a very tedious and slow process, all right? And it's very repetitive. I have a very difficult time whenever I'm creating something to make something twice, because I'm always making it better. And so this is why I'm recording this now, because I'm sure that I'm already making this better in my mind at some point and moving forward in our evolution. Okay. And it's just like a little factory. This could be done very easily by factory if we needed to, if we had the funds to set this up. Okay. And as soon as we're able to get 3, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough to make a total of 6 on this one. Okay. And once again, just twisting the double helix together. You can see that I had it off, okay? It's important that the ends down here stay together. Okay, so that's what we're working on here, is making sure that the ends stay together when we twist it. Okay, and then let nature take its course, because it doesn't really matter what it looks like after it's twisted up here. Okay. You'll see, just pinch it wherever they come together. Twist it together. And it all looks the same, and they all start to do the recovery. Pardon myself, I did not pay attention to that. And again, wrap it around really tight. And remember, you're also beginning the nano coating procedure, okay, because you've just twisted all this wire. Now imagine all that surface area of copper for a cylindrical shaped object such as wire. Okay. Now imagine all the surface area that is crammed into these 3 little coils. All right, in the most efficient pattern possible in nature, in the double helix strands. Okay. And what I like to do is take the ends, okay, of these. Sometimes you get the little loops on the ends. Anyway, I like to take those loops and flatten them over so that they kind of pinch the coil in between, like a sandwich. Okay, maybe you can see a little bit better. All right, you can see the little pinch right there. Okay, all I did is just bend it over and hold it in place. And now continue the flow. All right, you could see the energy flow is this direction. Okay, it's going from here through all of this one, through all of this one, through all of this one, and out this side. Okay. And so we want to make sure that that flow of energy is continued when you put it inside of your little plastic container. Okay. And because I don't have enough on this one, I'm going to make an additional one using the other. But anytime I cut, okay, from the spool, I always bend over the wire. All right, I'm following my own rules here, guys, so that I know which direction is source. All right. And so next step is I get these little plastic Christmas balls. They're like $6 for 12 or something like that. Okay. And they come in a little box, and they have a lid and a bottom in separate packages. All right. And they have, they're just real thin plastic, nothing really to write home about. Okay. But they fit together, usually when you get the right size pieces. Anyway, they fit together. Okay. And what I do is I'll match up the circles here. Okay. And this is where a multi-tool comes in handy, because I take my knife blade on here, okay, and I hold the position of 3 o'clock on this particular one. All right. I have the ring, I have the container. All right. This one has an outer ring on it. All right. And this one has the inner ring so that it seats together. Okay. I'm taking the one that has the inner ring. And if you were to run your finger along the outside of it, you could feel the little divot. All right. That's how you know you've got the inner ring for what I'm referencing to. Okay. Now, the other thing that I do is I hold my knife blade. Okay. This is my 12 o'clock. This is what I use as my 12 o'clock. And so at 3 o'clock, I will place my knife blade at the 3 o'clock position. Okay. And then I will just slightly put some pressure. You'll hear that little click. Okay. And what it does is it puts the pressure right where I want it to be. All right. And it cuts that little notch out of there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. All right. But it does that. Okay. And then I go to the other side and I point my knife blade right at the opening, and I do the same exact thing. And this helps me get a close proximity of what I want. Okay. No, it's not perfect. Do I care that it's perfect? No. All right. And so you take your newly formed device, okay, and you can set it inside of there. All right. Organize your wires so that they'll sit right where you want them to. Okay. Copper wire can be manipulated very easily, just like the human psyche can. And if you've watched any of the recent videos, you heard me admit to you that I am purposely manipulating you to do good things. Okay? Because it's taking too long to learn it, that I'm manipulating you guys into becoming angels. And if that's, harsh reality, then that's okay. I'm willing to accept the downfall from that. But in the meantime, we got to get this shit taken care of, and I got to teach you. So we're going to work on that. So what I've got here now is that I've just shaped it. Okay. I'll straighten these out so you can see it. I've just shaped the wires in this way. All right. And they sit right there in between the little cracks. Okay. And then I put the lid on top. Now you're going to feel a little bit of a resistance from the plastic container. Don't force it. All right. The smaller gauge wires that you use, all right, the easier this is going to be. But at the same time, okay, it's flexible in that it will hold itself shut if you put tape on it when you've got this at least 18 gauge wire in it, okay, or 20 gauge wire. 18 gauge is going to require maybe to poke another hole on the other side. All right, that's up to you how you want to do it, but I suggest that you do it the same way so that you can, you know, keep doing what you need to do. All right. Now we can just make this a little simpler and do the same thing that we did for the top or for the one side. We'll do it for this side as well and hope that they line up. Because if they don't line up, then you've got a bigger hole, and that means you've got to close it off with hot glue, and I'm trying to get away from hot glue altogether. But I'm just that good, and the universe is smiling on me. Okay, so now I've got this little shish kebab looking thing, okay, that's spinning inside of here. All right, and that's your final, what it should look like in each one of these. Okay, that's what it should look like. All right, and then you'll have 3 more that are attached to this one, okay, as well, that you do the same exact things with, guys. And you just need 2 of them, and then you're going to hook them up the same way that you would hook up the IQ unit, okay, using your in and your out, and using the end of your plugs, okay, right here. This becomes the IQ unit now, both of them, and I'm going to show you how to connect them to this one, okay. Like I said, I haven't nano coated this one yet, all right, but I want to complete this video all at once since we've got good connection. Nobody's interrupted me to tell me no audio or anything like that. All right. What I'm doing here is I'm stripping the ends off of this. This was an old lamp cord that I cut off, okay, that we no longer use. And I'm going to cut off quite a bit of this insulation and try not to cut any of the small threads, the small copper wire that's inside of here, the multi-strand copper wire, okay? You can see that there's quite a bit that I pulled off, okay? But you want to tighten this up, twist it. Now, I need to emphasize that when we cut into to make a the adapter, okay, with the multi-plug adapter on it, okay, you only cut the hot wire. There's only one wire that you're cutting in there. All right. I recently had somebody try to cut 2 wires or whatever, and as soon as she plugged it in, she flipped a breaker. Okay. Now, you only touch 1 wire because all of this is just an extension of the hot wire that you've already got. Okay. We're just adding an extra few feet of wire. Okay. Maybe about 50 or 100 feet of wire here. All right. And it's going to create an induction field. All right. Well, on American plugs, okay, this is the only thing I have to go by, guys. So if you guys are versed in the different kinds of plugs out there, I can appreciate a video, you know, identifying them so that we can all be on the same page. Okay. But the fat wire here, okay, this has just got 2 wires in it. All right. the hot and the neutral wire, okay? The fat one is the neutral wire or the ground wire, okay? The thinner one that you can see here, comparatively speaking, okay, there's a fat one and then there's a thin one. The thin one, that's your hot wire, okay? And you need to follow that all the way down to the end of your wire, okay? Because this is determining your source. That's your source energy. And I'm not sure if I made this clear enough, okay? But this is how you maintain the flow, all right? So I just put my fingernail through this right here. You can flatten it out. You can do whatever you need, okay? But in this case, this one right here on the right is my negative as I think about it, right? So I tie a knot in it in the flow of energy, all right? So I have a knot in the negative side or the non-hot wire. So this is going to be my hot wire. This is also my source. And so for this one right here, my source wires, I've always cut them longer, okay, than the rest. So that's my source. That's my in wire. That's where the hot wire, okay, then the one without the knot, that's where it connects to, okay? And so you want to get it set up so that it doesn't slide off of the end because you're going from a solid wire to a multi-strand wire, okay? And so I put them so that the ends are pretty much close together here, all right? And then I will connect them and twist the big wire, the thick wire, around the multi-strand wire, okay? And I do that because I don't want the wire to slide off, okay? And this is also the reason why I have not nano-coated this yet, is because I wanted to nano-coat this connection here before I put it under power, okay? Okay. And so now I've got this, and I've got to go get my electrical tape to do it. All right, so that's the in wire right there, okay? And I put the in wire fairly close in here. And you can see that I've got some copper tape that is touching it on both sides, okay? So that when this all gets nano-coated, there will be a physical connection, okay? But also an etheric connection between the device and your body, okay? That's what allows the plasma transfer, okay? And again, I'm going to twist. This time I'm going to I broke too many wires on the last one. And so I'm just gonna wrap this around. And what you may not see, okay, is that this is a mini Tesla tower. Okay, remember all of those many multiple strands of copper wire in there are just going to be the same thing as a Tesla tower is, okay? So think about that. You've got a solid core copper wire, and then you have multiple smaller strands that are wrapped around that core, okay? And the smaller strands are all going to be nano-coated, okay? Completely all the way around. So you're going to have your understanding of that, okay? I would suggest that you get, after this is nano-coated, you get some electrical tape and cover this up to protect the ends from poking anybody, okay? You can wrap this around, okay, to prevent this from being ripped off, okay, or dislocated, okay? And now you've got a completely versatile, safe to handle, no problems of, whatsoever of trying to disrupt the energy flow because it's trapped inside of this plastic container, okay? And so now you've got it. And this is the first double helix quad core system in existence, okay? And you guys witnessed it right here on the Infinity project, all right? The goal is to have 2 of these. And then when you have the second one, you have them plugged in, they create an energy field, and you put yourself between that energy field, okay? When you do that, your DNA will become activated. It will be fully charged. All your switches will turn on, okay? And it may take a few times, but this is the goal here. And once your DNA is activated and it's fully charged and you're capable of holding a charge by yourself, okay, it's going to take practice. Then you'll be able to teleport, okay? Your cells will be converted into light and they will move at the speed of existence, at the speed of creation. And that's where you get teleportation. What happens is that you cease to exist at this particular point in time and you begin to exist in another particular point in time at the exact same moment that you disappeared from this point and reappeared into the next point. At any rate, this is what it looks like. This is your complete unit, okay? Notice there is no hot glue on this, but you can. Once this is nano-coated, okay, I'm just gonna put some caustic on these coils and let them nano-coat, okay? I'm gonna let it dry out on the inside of that, okay, fairly. Then I'm going to take these coils out and spray them with coconut oil. And then I'm going to kind of roll them around in some different wet GANs and let them dry, okay? And then I'm going to, if it does dry, okay, I know it's going to be attracted to the coconut oil, but if in fact it does dry or start to dry out, then I'm going to put powdered dried GANs, okay, on the, I'm going to just sprinkle it in there and kind of shake it around like a salt shaker, okay, because that's all it really matters. Now, that being done, are there any questions at this time? Oh my gosh, my back. Oh. Oh. Any questions? They're all quiet today. Unlike me vomiting information. Okay. So, some people have been asking about the wire that I'm using. Okay, this is the way it came. This is the way it looks on the Amazon. Okay, and it's just softer copper wire, easier to work with, and it's non-coated. Let's see. When you learn to do these devices this way, okay, you will learn that the key to this universe has always been inside of you. And the initial shock of realizing that we have made it so difficult for ourselves, listening to other people tell us how to live, that you're going to be completely shocked by it. And I'm hoping that the simplicity doesn't scare you guys away in all the things that we're doing here. And right now, you know, we need a group of people to come together to support the other people out there that are not as advanced as we are. And that's really what the Infinity Project is about. You know, I don't think I'm going to get 7 billion of these units made, although it would be nice. But we don't need 7 billion. We might only need, you know, 1 million of these units made, and we'll perfect it along as everybody is helping each other, and we're learning to do these kinds of things while we're experimenting. We learn new things, okay? And we only add to the knowledge. We're not taking away any knowledge, so it can only get better, okay? We're just adding a little bit at a time. And that's why it's important that you guys make the IQ reactors first before attempting to make these. Because I don't want you to be thrown into disarray and shock because you're being pushy with yourself. You still have to deal with your karma and your own emotional issues, okay? This will bring anything and everything else that's to the surface, okay? And sometimes those that think, you know, like myself, that feel, you know, hey, I couldn't be this along in my journey if I had, you know, if I had anything wrong with me, you know. But I've had a few rough days here, and you know that just shows that I'm human and that I make my own mistakes and that I've got to deal with them. And along with dealing with that comes the decision making. And so until next time, I'm going to leave you guys since I don't have any questions here. You guys kind of got flabbergasted, I think, and you're busy working. But until next time, do something kind for somebody else, okay? Pay for somebody in front of you. Pay for their lunch instead of somebody behind you, okay? Buy somebody's groceries if it's only, you know, $70 or $80 if you can afford it, okay? If they ask you why, you say for no reason at all, you know? Buy their groceries and say, you know, next time you can come in here and now you can buy another $80 worth of groceries. So you've got twice the amount of groceries than you thought you could have. And I would like to do that for you. We noticed that in our area and the people that are coming around, the good changes is that they're becoming and making statements that are self-aware, okay? That they are becoming self-aware and they're sounding more and more intelligent because they're understanding themselves. And so these are the changes that we're seeing around our area here. And if you pay attention, you'll notice the changes of the way people are talking, okay? Because after this void, all of these people that were in their little cocoons, okay, and being depressed, they're going to emerge as butterflies. And they're going to fly away. And you guys are part of that. And that's part of the ascension process here. And, you know, I need to ask the panel here, okay, all of the panel that we've got, and it will be a majority vote. Is the world ready for the Infinity Project's version of sexuality? That's the question. There are a lot of topics out there about sexuality, and I highly recommend you watch Teal Swan, okay, and the power of orgasms and the equal energy exchange of sexual behavior and why some people do things the way they do, okay, and the why some people have what we call fetishes and the need to express themselves in that way, okay. And those are the things that we need to talk about at some point. But I'm not sure that the world is ready for that yet, okay? At least not in America. Because here in America, they turn their head at somebody who's, you know, who's considered homosexual, you know, loves the same sex. And the universe, your soul sees no difference in your body. Okay? Your souls are the same. That's what's attracting you to each other is your soul, and the physical part of it is like the flower part. And your DNA is the ultraviolet signals that some bees can see. Now, we can't see with the human eye, but your DNA, picks it up. That's the law of attraction. But a lot of you guys and families out there are going to break up, okay? And when I say break up, meaning that you're going to have a different perception on sex. And you need to be prepared for that so that you know how to deal with it. And just understand that sex is a release of energy, and your partner might not be able to fulfill certain needs for you. And so you will come to a crossroads. Well, I don't want to replace everything that I've done, and I don't want to throw away everything that I've worked for in my family. I'm just not getting my sexual needs met. It's boring in the bedroom, or, whatever it might be. Well, grow up a little bit and understand the exchange of energy between you and your husband or your spouse or whatever. Okay. And when you can understand that exchange of energy, you will be able to further better yourself and understanding your needs that affect your moods, but let me know. I'm curious if you guys want a class on this, and we can go into more detail of polarities in sexual relationships and in your home life and relationships in general, and having a polarity within a polarity. Okay. And it's just understanding that the structure of light is repetitive, and you're just doing it over and over again. So you should make the IQ device first, and then move on to the double helix quad core device. Okay. We're starting with baby steps, and you have to go through the baby steps first. Okay. Like everybody else. And once you learn how to make the quad core, it's the basis for everything that we make. The health pens, the cube devices, these new teleportation devices, it's all the base for everything that we're starting. You can check it out on our Infinity project page. It's Infinity 888 project on YouTube, and it's the Infinity 888 project on Facebook. Now, right before my class today, I wanted to apologize to people. I put out 2 warnings yesterday about this video, okay, or making this video. I put it out there, and neither one of them seem to have been posted on my Facebook page. Okay, so those of you that know and are part of my classes every Mondays at 5, okay, please share it so that people know that we're having the class, so we can get more participants. Okay. The way my wife and I work when it comes to these little shows that we're doing here is that we need people to ask us questions. Okay. And when we ask you the questions, especially like with relationships and things like that, my wife is very knowledgeable, especially when it comes to loss. She's experienced a lot of loss in her life, and she knows how to deal with it and why it's happened. I'm very proud of her for it. But if you're having a hard time, get a hold of us, and we'll sit down and we'll talk with you about it, and we'll help you get through these little steps. And maybe recording it will help somebody else down the road. Okay. So if there are no more questions, no. Jose asked that if the quad cores were connected together. Okay. This is 1 unit. Okay. You'll have to make a multi-plug adapter. Like I said before, an extension cord. Okay. That has, you know, the 3 or 4 plugs that are on the end. Okay. If you used that as your connecting piece from the multi-plug, all right, then you can plug these together. You can put 3 or 4 of them together and they'll all be in series. So it'll be 2, which means that you've got 3 in one side, 3 in the other, which is 6. Okay. And then when you plug it in again and you do another one identical to that, okay, plug it in on the other side, that's another 6. So that gives you 12 strands of DNA, and then it comes through your body. That gives you your 13th one, all right? 13 is the divine 12, which means that all 12 strands of your DNA are going to be turned on. That being said, much love. World peace is here, okay? It's time for you guys to step up to the plate now. You've got the tools that you need to energize your cells and activate your light bodies. So we should see more bright stars out there, and you know, no excuses as to I don't know how to do this, because I just showed you exactly how to make it. Okay, and hopefully you can see it, and we'll get some diagrams built for you guys, and you know, hopefully the computer animations part will come through for us, and we'll go from there. All right, I love you guys. You guys are very welcome. Please enjoy your 4th of July holiday, and be safe out there, guys. Go ahead and stop recording. All right. I am complete for the day, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. That's awesome. I thought I was going to bed, but it's so